Mine, Edith Clowes, Clowes. I get all sorts saying, clowns, clues, clothes.
Bernadette Newing, and if I tell you how long I've lived here, you'll know my age. 54 years.
My name's Bob, and I've lived in Abbey Hey for nigh on 40 years.
My name's Marie Brinicum, and I've actually lived in this house for about 38 years. But my grandmother and mother were brought up, my mother was brought up round Abbey Hey.
This garage is called Lodge Sports Racing, and we've been here since 1979. We've been in the area since 1962, and apart from this shop, this little bit here, this garage has been here since the early 1800s, and we've never changed the name. The front part is Lodge Garage Service Station, and the rest is Lodge Sports Racing, because there was gardens here, and the name of this property has gone from the lodge was the entrance into the gardens in the early 1800s.
My name's Susan Lord, and I lived in Abbey Hey for 43 years.
I'm Mrs Anna O'Malley, and I was born here in 1943.
It's Harry Norcliffe. Yeah, I've lived in Abbey Hey for 25 years now. First thing that brought us, I think it was the first house that we bought, my wife and I, and we just wanted a nice area near a local school which we had at Wright Robinson, and a local park which we had at Debdale, of course.
I suppose my mother had been giving birth in the back bedroom, really, on Abbey Hey Lane. So, I didn't, that's what brought me to Abbey Hey. I've not even moved out of Abbey Hey. I got married in Abbey Hey, I brought my husband from Oldham to Abbey Hey, had my children in Abbey Hey, and I'm still here. I only moved 200 yards down the road.
We came to Abbey Hey because my mum got a job at Linton Caravans, which was on Constable Street, and she worked there for years, but that's been demolished now to make way for all the new build. And my dad worked as a sheet metal worker at Long Controls. He worked there for years and years, and then he got made redundant, but I was about 18 when he got made redundant. But yeah, that's why we came to live in Abbey Hey.
Could you tell us what year you was born?
1916. Well, my mother's told me these things. In 1918, when the war was over, he said it was, he had Christmas there in France, and then he was coming home on New Year's Eve, and they'd been for a drink, him and another bloke, and one of the officers, and they said, "Well, go and say goodbye to such a body." And when they went in, this man lit a cigarette, and the whole lot went up. So they all got killed, yeah. Must have been bad for my mother, mustn't it?
We needed somewhere better for the kids especially, So we came looking round different places and spotted this house going in the paper and that, so we came and had a look at it, fell in love with it.
My father worked at Gorton Tank, and they got married to somebody from West Gorton, and they came for a family house here.
My grandmother moved into Abbey Hey in about 1918, 1920. So a long time we've had connections here. Growing up in Abbey Hey, it was peaceful, it was pleasant, safe. Most people knew everybody else, some streets were just dominated by a few families. It was a very close-knit community. It used to be the nicest part of Gorton. It was one of the 4 hamlets of Gorton before it became part of Manchester.
When I was younger, there was dairy farms on Abbey Hey Lane at the top near the hamlet. There was also a big orchard just at Greenfold there. And on Abbey Hey Lane, near Abbey Hey School, there used to be a big mill there. We used to have 2 picture houses on the road. One was called the Alhambra and one was called the Cosmo. And grandparents used to take them to the afternoon matinees and that. So we were quite lucky that we did have a lot of things. Same as in Abbey Hey, they've always had May walks and everything, and wheat walks and St George's, although I'm a Catholic and I went to St Anne's Church and School, St George's was very good for the community because they used to run boys' brigades and they used to have like youth clubs, everything when I was younger. So there was quite a lot of community spirit then.
Oh, my happiest memories of Abbey Hey. Let's see. Having my 21st in the Abbey Hey Club. Having my children christened at St George's Church across the road there. And husband's mum run the Abbey Hey Working Men's Club. She was a landlady there with her husband. And I used to live in a little street over the back here, number 35 Godwin Street, and I lived in there 18 years, and then moved over to Revitalizing Road and where I live now, and I lived in Abbey Hey 43 years.
Abbey Hey was different then because I think there was a bit more of a community spirit. Not that there isn't today, but then we had the kind of the carnival things. You know, you'd have once a year we'd have an annual event where we have floats going down the street, and all the kids would join in, the boys' brigade, the girl guides, the churches. As the float finished, it would make its way to Debdale Park, and then we'd have a gathering there of jamborees and games and things like that. So that was once a year. We had an annual bonfire on Debdale Park, a bonfire night.
They all joined in together, you know what I mean? You didn't sit in your house or anything like that. They all joined, and you used to have, you know, these barrel organs. You used to have them in the street and have dancing. You know, everybody joined in, you know. It was always like that. And there was nothing wasted. They'd all make a few sandwiches or put whatever in they could, you know. And they all enjoyed it.
Oh, I've got loads of memories of living in Abbey Hey, playing out on the street, on Sandown Street, where we bought, well, where Mum and Dad bought their first house, and then we moved to Longford Street, and behind there was a massive park, Peter Pan Park, and we just had a great time on there. We was always on there every day when we come home from school. Another really happy memory, my dad used to work at the Working Men's Club, which was just on Abbey Hey Lane, and he used to work there at the weekends, and they used to take us out on trips to Southport, and you know, it was brilliant. Really good memories, yeah.
The changes I've seen in Abbey Hey over the years, the biggest one, I'd say, is loss of community spirit. I loved it, I still like it, I don't love it, which is very, very sad for me, because I do have lots of happy memories of these allotments when I was a child. You know, we used to come up, we were very, very poor, we used to come up and people used to give you a bag of potatoes, some peas, even flowers we used to take to the church altar, you know, so lots of happy memories in Abbey Hey. And it's sad that it's not the same for people coming into it now, but that's not to say it can't be, because it's what you make it and we've got to make it good.
There was quite a lot of community spirit then, which I think has been lost a lot. It needs pulling together a bit these days, because people, they don't stay in the houses long enough to get to know them. So it needs something to pull every society together in some way, because we tried a few years ago. I belong to Abbey Hey residents, and we used to have big festivals on the field to do that. But of course, when Mike Robinson took the field over, there was nowhere else to do it in Abbey Hey, so it's been a bit hard.
I think the major changes in Abbey Hey, there doesn't seem to have as much money being spent on the area, so I think that's had a real impact on the area. And also, there's a real lack of, there used to be a much stronger community feeling in the area, and I don't see that as much as it used to be, and I think that definitely needs to be improved and worked on. So I think the people that have now moved into the area need to be working on the community spirit lots more, definitely.
You could meet people, you know, like in the avenue where I live. As sad as it is now, you don't get many people saying good morning and things like that, you know, they don't seem to know each other. We were never people for going people's houses and mithering, you know, but you could stand at the gate, have a chat, and then they'd you do what you do, you know. But that seems to have all gone. There's just no, I don't know, it's just not the same, and it has been for a long time.
Abbey Hey's changed a lot. All the pubs are being boarded up, a lot of houses are empty. Just gone down, not as good as it used to be. We need more money to do it all up. And there isn't enough money in the pot to do it, is there, really?
On this allotments, the camaraderie is great. We've got a great secretary. Don't tell her that, she's big-headed. And, you know, we all get on. We help each other, which is what it's all about. Like I say, in the community a bit farther out, that is gone. But on this allotment, we have 3 sites, and the camaraderie is 100%. We can go out at a night, have a night out together, all of us. You know, not too often, but you know, we do. But it's great, everyone helps each other.
I'd been a local councillor for 2 years and I'd stopped doing that, and I thought, well, what can I do for me? So I joined the allotment society for me and thought I'd just have a plot and I'll just work my plot. But then I realised that there was a lot of social activities could be gained from it, a lot of interaction with people, and from there I became secretary of the society, and from then on it's grown. We have a fantastic committee, fantastic group of people on here from all walks of life, different ethnics, different backgrounds, you know, city dwellers, people in terrace properties, people with gardens. Come on it, and that is why I came onto this allotment society. To grow, for my own little peace of mind, tranquility, you can sit there, you don't have to be bothered by anybody. And it's a little oasis in the middle of the city. We're 4 miles from the city centre, we're 2 miles from the motorway, we're half a mile from a train track, and we're in the hustle and bustle of it. But here, you don't hear anything. You forget all your troubles, you forget your woes, you come on, you listen to the birds, look at the chickens, get some free-range eggs, go down and see the bees, get some honey, chat to people, and all those people have got different life experiences that they talk about, and then skills that they bring to us as well. You know, we've got Bob the Storeman, who's been on here for too long. He's in his 70s, fantastic chap, runs the stores, gives you loads of advice on your plants. He's a joiner, he's busy now making staging for people's greenhouses. Walter with his knowledge on wildlife, Val with her knowledge on wildlife and organic things that we can grow. Cheap way of living and socialising. And we get down the pub occasionally.
In the last 10 years, Vine Street Park wasn't Vine Street Park, and Abbey Hey residents, a few of us, the local police, Inspector O'Reilly, which was just an ordinary policeman then, and the Christian movement from all over the world, even they were from America and all over, because they'd filled it in, because it was a railway, it just got bricks, weeds, you name it. So that half of the Vine Street Park, we dug, we pulled the weeds out, we pulled the stones out, we put a football pitch on it, we benched it. Abbey Hey Residents Association paid for the bins and the benches, and since then, Maria out of Gordon Street residents, they've put flowers round and put a few swings on, so it's been an ongoing thing by a few people.
Just a group of us got together, we did the alleyways on the street we live, make it pleasant so people can come out and about and be a sort of mini community. And then the park wasn't being used as a park, so we've had swings and other play equipment put in, so now children are using it as a park, which is the whole idea. It keeps them off the streets and gives them something fresh air and exercise. Young people sometimes, if we're watching the troughs on Vine Street, there's 35 flower troughs that the group look after. We find the little ones usually come and can we help water them, and so if they see it as part of theirs, hopefully they grow up feeling that. We're going to develop a wildflower area on the adjacent land to the continuation of the park.
This park here, what we found we were doing, when I was talking to local people, what they were saying was they had nowhere to go anymore. They had nowhere to meet. A lot of the community centres had closed. A lot of the meeting places had closed. So we kind of came up with this idea that this would be a sort of outdoor hub, outdoor village green, community centre. The idea came from loads of different things. Originally we were going to put more park equipment in the park. That was one of the key things that people wanted, as well as being able to find out about learning about nature, a bit more about biodiversity. People wanted to also learn about cooking and growing fruit bushes and making jams and stuff. So we did a bit of a way up really between more park equipment. In the meantime, the community group I'm working with secured some money and got some more swings and some football equipment. So it kind of defaulted really to the original idea of the wildflower garden. Oh, we've had loads of support. The community have been fantastic. They've come down, they've really joined in. They've kind of almost conducted their own consultation. So it's not been a traditional formal knocking doors and just asking people. We've held events out in the park. We've had planting days. We've planted some of the things that are here. And we've just been supported throughout. The police have been here. They've been helping us to ask people. Schools. It's been brilliant. The support's been fantastic.
We're always looking for help and volunteers, so if anyone wants to help out, if they just get in touch with us when we're walking about, we're either on the park or in the streets. Most of myself and the other committee members are known.
Well, we specialise mainly in selling Porsche parts and building race cars. We started on, obviously, road cars many years ago. We used to build our own cars, manufacture our own cars as a family. You know, we gave it up for many years, and then my son, as he got older, said, "Dad, you know what, we're selling these Porsche parts, why don't we go Porsche racing?" And I started racing with him, sharing a car, and thought, you know, why am I doing this? I did it years ago. You know, I don't particularly want to do it anymore. And at that time, we couldn't afford to both sort of race two cars. So it finished up where, you know, my son finished up doing it, and he got very good at it. And as I say, he won the Porsche Championship, and he's held the lap record for most of the race circuits in the country. And here we are again now, you know, building race cars and hopefully, well, as I say, we've done it for many years, so, but hopefully he'll win the championship again in this car I'm building now.
So we're at Dell Eco Centre, which is based in Dell Park in Gorton, and we've been here now since about 2000. And when it was first set up, it was bought as an organisation called Fairfield Composting, which is an organisation that is still based in Smithfields Market, which basically brings waste in from businesses in Smithfields, like the greengrocers and things like that, and they make compost. So when it first started up here, it was an organisation that was to teach people in the area, schools, residents, how to compost and encourage everybody to do home composting. We still have a massive composting area here, although it's just part of what we do now. What we're doing now is basically what's called the Growing People programme, and we are working with schools, local residents, housing associations, allotmenteers, new gardeners, to encourage them to learn how to grow organic food. So how to grow your own fruit and vegetables, but organically. We run courses here, so they can come and sign up to a course. The courses are either run over, so usually like 6 weeks, or they might be over a weekend, and they can also come and volunteer. So every week we run 2 volunteer sessions, so they can come and get involved on that. They tend to run as drop-in sessions, so you know, you're not tied to coming. It doesn't matter whether you turn up one week and don't turn up the next, because obviously people have a lot of things going on, don't they?
I think it's improving. It's taken some time, but it has improved. It was really good. You could leave your keys in your car. in '79, and it, you know, there was not a problem. And then it went from a, you know, to a stage where they got one or two who was, you know, you couldn't sort of trust type of thing. But the local people have eventually forced them out. But it has improved, and I think it's okay, you know, and I think it'll get better, myself personally.
Oh, just make it all back how it used to be. Do it all up. Bring all the pubs back and the working men's clubs. It's nice, yeah, and bring a community for children to go to, like youth clubs. They don't do that anymore now, do they? There's nothing, just nothing for the children at all. They're all on computers now, sat in the bedroom. You know, should be out. Good old Abbey Hey, yeah. Yeah.
My vision is, I wanted it like when I first came round here, you know, more people integrating. You know, just not walking down your own avenue and you know, that's it. It's no good. There's a lot more things need to be going on in Abbey Hey to get people together. People need to get together because there's just a lack of it.
I am really optimistic, especially around the Gatters, Godwin and Corrigan streets, because a lot of the properties in that area were empty for a long, long time, and Adactus bought them up and have done them all up, refurbished them, and we've got loads of really, really nice tenants in the area. And I think, you know, that they'll, you know, once they've all got to know each other, there will be a lot more community spirit, and obviously the area will be much more sustainable. So they will, you know, they'll be living there for a lot longer. And obviously with the work that we're doing to benefit the properties, you know, with the retrofit works, definitely, yeah. I think I'm really optimistic about it. It's going to be great for them.
I think the future looks bright. I would like to see more places. Okay, we need lots of houses, but we also need some kind of places to socialise as well. So I'd like to see more areas or buildings where people can just go and meet and have a chat. So as well as building the houses, let's also build them kind of places. And I think if that happens, and if the economy picks up, then I think the future's just as bright as for here as anywhere else. And we've got the people that will do that as well. You know.
I assume, like everybody else's vision, you want it safe, clean, happy, pleasant to be in.
I just hope in the future that the young ones and the old ones get together, and the people that have not been here for long, that something happens that we can bring the place back again as it was.
There's quite a few associations dotted about Abbey Hey now. I mean, back in 2000 when the original one was first set off, which was a group of ladies sat in a pub moaning about what goes on, and we decided we'd do something about it. We held a public meeting at Wright Robinson, and there was upwards of 500 people attended. And from that, we then created the original Abbey Hey Residents Association, and we got a fantastic steering group together and generated lots of interest around the area, and we formed an over 50s club. We formed a youth club that runs several nights a week. We also used to do social activities once a month, inviting all the old folks in for a meal, so we'd do a social evening, and then we'd clean up the area, do lots of clean up campaigns and work with the police to try and reduce crime. And I think that's what kept the community together, and I think if local people want to get involved, that's what we should do again. We should all come back together. As I say, there are a few smaller ones dotted about Abbey Hey, because there's like 2,500 houses that we covered at the time, and come back together and work together to try and make Abbey Hey a better place. Get involved in your local allotment societies, in your local youth clubs, you know, any little clubs that are dotted about. I know on Vine Street there's a park that was developed originally by the Residents Association, and Mary and her team from the Garden Street residents continue that, you know, and people get involved with those sort of things, you know, and it doesn't take much to get involved. If a lot of people got involved, it'd take a little time. If there's a few people involved, it takes a lot of time, and that's what puts people off. So I think, you know, let's get together, let people contact the local residents associations, and we could all join together and decide where we want to go from there and make a bigger force to be heard really, which is what we want. Because I feel we've lost the voice in Abbey Hey. You know, it's We're the forgotten corner, we've always said that, our little oasis is, and I think we should bring it back and get some life back into it and get the community back into it. And it's a community that brings a life to it. So, you know, I think we should do that. Contact residents associations, bob down to the allotments, there's one here, there's one at Debdale. We can all get together and talk and move things forward.